Hey guys, DC here, coming at you with another video. Pokemon has been no stranger to introducing new types throughout the run of this franchise. Back in Generation 2, we saw the introduction of the Dark and Steel type, and most recently in Generation 6 in X and Y, we saw the introduction of the Fairy type. And I remember how excited I was, a younger Trainer DC, when he saw that we were getting a new typing in Pokemon. I had fallen out of the Pokemon franchise after Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I skipped over Generation 5 before finding out that Pokemon was coming to the 3DS in Pokemon X and Y. That got me re-excited for the franchise and got me back into it. I went back and bought Black and White and Black and White 2, played through those games in anticipation for Pokemon X and Y's arrival. And I remember one of the more exciting parts about Pokemon X and Y's arrival was obviously Mega Evolution, but also the fact that we were getting a brand new typing. This is something that has not been explored in the franchise since. Yes, we did get technically a temporary 19th type in the Stellar type in Generation 9 through Terastallization. Although, if we're being honest, that was super underwhelming. I thought that when they announced that, hey, a new type is coming in the form of Terastallization, it would be something really exciting and really cool, and it kinda just wasn't. It's very forgettable, at least in my opinion. But I wanted to discuss today if maybe in Generation 10 or maybe at some point later down the line, will Pokemon ever introduce a 19th type to the franchise? I feel like the answer, for now at least, for at least the next few generations, is probably no. And I think that's a rather unfortunate answer because I do think that there is one typing that makes way too much sense not to be a thing already, and that is the sound type. I know there's a lot of different types that people want to see introduced into Pokemon. I've seen people talk about the light type, but that kind of is fairy typing. We don't really need that. I've seen people mention the cosmic type. I've seen people mention the data type, like Porygon, Porygon 2, Porygon Z would be data Pokemon, maybe Genesect as well. I feel like that's not a bad one, but the problem with that is that there's just not enough Pokemon that would fall into that category to warrant an entire type. But I feel like the sound type really does have enough Pokemon that exist already to fall into that category and would really create a rather cool and unique typing that could move forward in the franchise. Now, first and foremost, do we need a 19th type? From a gameplay perspective, from a balancing standpoint, do we need another typing? I would argue the answer is no, but I just think from a just marketing perspective and just to mix things up in the franchise and make things more interesting, it'd be cool to get a 19th type. It'd be cool to see a sound type. And the reason I feel like the sound type works really well is, as I said before, there are a lot of Pokemon that would fall into this typing right now, and this is a typing that's already kind of existing within the Pokemon world and mentioned, but it's not an actual typing. For example, Primarina is very much so a sound type Pokemon. Her main thing is that she is a siren, she can sing, and her signature move is a move that really highlights her singing abilities. We have Chatot, which is obviously a music-based Pokemon. It has a music note as a part of its head. We have the whole Loudred family of Pokemon. They are obviously sound-based Pokemon, and that is just to name a few. I feel like the sound type would be, again, a cool introduction within the Pokemon franchise, but the reason why I don't think they're going to do it is because I feel like Pokemon, they don't really want to mess with the type formula, the type triangle, if you will, right now. We have 18 types, right? The only times we've gotten new typings was within Generation 2, which obviously that was probably something that was planned from the start. They probably planned that, hey, Generation 2 is going to introduce 2 more typings in the Dark and Steel type. We saw that introduced, then we got nothing in Gen 3, nothing in Gen 4, nothing in Gen 5, then all of a sudden in Generation 6, they decided to introduce the Fairy type as a way to balance out and kind of make Dragon types not as OP. The only thing I could argue right now is that when the Fairy type was first introduced, it was pretty OP. The only weaknesses Fairy has are Steel and Poison, and to be honest, we don't exactly have the widest array of uber powerful steel and poison type Pokemon. I feel like it'd be better if Fairy had another weakness, and again, I feel like the sound type could very easily take that place, because within different lore and within different, TV shows and movies and whatnot and their respective lore, oftentimes fairies are weak to loud sounds, so once again, the sound type would fit that rather fittingly. And listen, even though I want the sound type to be a thing, and I think that's the logical biological type that could be introduced within the Pokemon franchise, it doesn't necessarily have to be the sound type. There could be any other type that Game Freak decides to introduce, like the typings I've mentioned. You know, you could do Cosmic, you could do Data, you could do Light, even though I think Fairy and Light are a little bit too similar to each other, or potentially even something that I haven't mentioned. Let me know down below as to what typing you want to see get introduced into Pokemon. But I feel like just for a franchise that is often criticized as being too stagnant, as each game being too similar to one another, I feel like adding a 19th type, and heck, if you want to go crazy, maybe even add a 19th and 20th type together, that'd be pretty cool, right? I feel like that would be a great way to mix things up a little bit and just bring more excitement into the franchise. Like, imagine we get Pokemon, let's just say the Wind Legendary is a flying and sound type. How cool would that be? I remember at the time when Pokemon X and Y was first introduced, when Xerneas was announced as being the fairy type legendary. That was so cool to me. I thought it was so cool to see that, hey, this brand new typing is being represented in one of the cover legendaries for Pokemon X and Y. I thought at the time that one of the starters, quite frankly, should have had the fairy typing, because again, highlight your typing even further, your new typing. They obviously did that in Generation 7 with Primarina being a water and fairy type. But yeah, I feel like introducing a 19th type to the franchise would be a good thing. I don't think it would really mess things up all that much in terms of balancing for gameplay, but I don't think it's something that Game Freak is going to do anytime soon. I don't think it's something they have on their radar. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about Game Freak potentially introducing a 19th typing? Do you want to see it? If so, which type would you like to see introduced? Or would you rather them leave things alone and keep things status quo with the 18 types that we currently have? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from Trainer DC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.